Welcome to today's countdown of cinematic brilliance, where we dive into the fascinating story behind The Godfather Part 2, one of the most celebrated films of all time. Packed with legendary performances, behind-the-scenes drama, and groundbreaking storytelling, this is a journey you won't want to miss. Stick with us until the end to uncover surprising details and fun facts that even the biggest fans might not know. If you enjoy our exploration, don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more iconic movie breakdowns. After the resounding success of The Godfather, Paramount Pictures decided to ride the Corleone gravy train with a sequel. But not just any sequel. Francis Ford Coppola, riding high on newfound leverage, proposed a radical idea, a film that was both a sequel and a prequel. Why settle for one time period when you can tackle two? Coppola envisioned a masterpiece juxtaposing Vito Corleone's rise to power with Michael Corleone's gradual descent into moral bankruptcy. Talk about ambitious storytelling. After months of agonizing work, The Godfather Part 2 premiered in New York on December 12, 1974. Despite costing enough to make Paramount executives sweat bullets, The Godfather Part 2 raked in $48 million in the US and Canada, with worldwide earnings estimated at $93 million. Not bad for a film with a $13 million budget, which ballooned faster than Michael's paranoia. The accolades were nothing short of legendary. Nominated for 11 Oscars, it became the first sequel to win Best Picture. Coppola took home Best Director. De Niro snagged Best Supporting Actor for playing young Vito Corleone, a role that had already won Marlon Brando an Oscar in the first film. That makes the Corleone patriarch the first character in Oscar history to win the same award twice, and the screenplay won gold too. Al Pacino, who deserved a statue for his glowering alone, nabbed Best Actor at the BAFTAs but was snubbed at the Oscars. Clearly, Hollywood wasn't ready for Pacino's simmering rage. Fast forward to today, and The Godfather Part 2 is hailed as one of the greatest films of all time, by critics, filmmakers, and mob movie enthusiasts alike. It's considered the rare sequel that not only matches but arguably surpasses its predecessor. The American Film Institute ranked it 32nd on its list of greatest American films in 1997 and reaffirmed this in 2007. By 1993, it was deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant enough to be immortalized in the National Film Registry. Basically, it's the film world's equivalent of being knighted. Screenwriter Mario Puzo began working on a sequel in December 1971, before The Godfather even hit theaters. Its original title was The Death of Michael Corleone. Coppola even approached Martin Scorsese to direct, but Paramount balked at the idea. Imagine Scorsese's version, a gangster epic with twice as many F-bombs. The movie's Senate hearing sequences were inspired by real-life mob trials, and Frank Pentangeli, a standout character, was modeled after mob informant Joseph Valachi. Crisis struck early when Al Pacino, the human embodiment of intensity, threatened to walk. He hated the script, calling it an incoherent mess. Coppola, in a Herculean all-nighter, rewrote the screenplay and handed it to Pacino, who grudgingly approved. The budget, meanwhile, spiraled out of control, starting at $6 million and climbing to over $13 million. Despite the financial headaches, Paramount pressed on, likely whispering, "Leave the cannoli, take the profit margin." Marlon Brando, a legend but notoriously difficult, was slated to appear in a flashback sequence. However, feeling slighted by Paramount, he ghosted the set like a jilted lover. Coppola, not one to cry over spilt milk or absent method actors, rewrote the scene on the fly. Richard S. Castellano, a.k.a. Clemenza, also bowed out over creative disagreements, leaving his role reimagined as the tragic Frank Pentangeli. Castellano reportedly wanted control of his dialogue, but his widow later contested this, making the behind-the-scenes drama as juicy as the film itself. Production spanned continents, with scenes in Sicily filmed in the charming town of Forza di Agro. The Cuban sequences were shot in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, because the real Cuba wasn't exactly rolling out the red carpet for Hollywood. Charles Blue Dorn, whose conglomerate owned Paramount, was pushing to develop the Dominican Republic as a film hub, so everyone played along. Behind the picturesque shots, the production was a logistical nightmare. But hey, what's a gangster epic without a little chaos? Unlike the first film, Coppola was handed near-total creative freedom for Part 2. The result was a smooth shoot, despite the challenges of juggling 2 timelines and multiple locations. Coppola even persuaded Paramount to include Part 2 in the title, marking the first time a major U.S. film used a numbered sequel. The studio feared audiences would scoff, muttering, "We've seen this before." But Coppola's instincts proved spot on, paving the way for franchises everywhere. Rocky II and Terminator 2 send their regards. A mere 3 weeks before its release, early screenings had critics sharpening their knives. They found the dual narratives disorienting, calling the film an overambitious mess. Coppola and his editors scrambled back to the cutting room, but with the clock ticking, they couldn't completely rework the structure. Opening night arrived with some narrative hiccups still intact, but audiences, unlike critics, didn't care. The film's power transcended a few awkward transitions, solidifying its place in cinematic history. If you'd told Francis Ford Coppola in December 1974 that The Godfather Part 2 would one day be heralded as the pinnacle of American cinema, he might have laughed in disbelief. Critics initially panned it, audiences were skeptical, and the production was a roller coaster. Yet, like Michael Corleone himself, the film endured, commanding respect through sheer force of artistry. Over time, its layered storytelling and emotional gravitas silenced naysayers, transforming a near disaster into an untouchable classic. Now it's your turn. Did we miss any moments or trivia you think should have made the list? Drop your suggestions in the comments. Your pick might just feature in a future video. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.
I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. You broke my heart.